setting up the shot. This is just crazy. Set out for the bottom of the gorge. Linville Gorge Wilderness. This is considered a most difficult trail, and to the bottom's just shy of 2 miles. A lot of switchbacks, a lot of rough trail as you see here. Once you get down toward the Babel Tower section, it becomes a little bit more difficult. So we're gonna get down to the bottom, find us a campsite, get some pictures. Ago, I hiked this same trail, and you can see it looks like a jungle trail, but I believe it was this tree that was across the path here, and it was one of my favorite photographs up to that time, of just the tree sitting back here with the ferns, the mixture of light and shadow. Just had a natural but eerie feeling about it. I want to say that was probably back, it may have been 5 years ago now. Maybe even a little longer. Now might be a good time to go over what I have packed and what my plans are. I was trying to decide, and I've been back and forth on it this morning and even last night, and I was thinking of hiking to the bottom and then coming back up today as well, and then trying to hike to the top of Table Rock and shoot the sunset from the pinnacle of Table Rock. And I finally just decided, no, I'm gonna hike to the bottom and I'm gonna just stay here overnight. Again, it's a difficult hike, and another thing is, just a couple of weeks ago I had a procedure done. I've had some abdominal pain for a little over 6 months, and they went in and put a stent in the bile duct coming from my pancreas, and I'm still in pain from it, from the procedure, as well as what's going on there, I guess. But I'm also just a little bit weaker than usual, and so I decided not to try to overdo it, and then I could take my time and hike back up in the morning. But in my bag, another thing, because of that, I've only got the one camera. I've got a 70 to 200 lens, and then in the backpack I've got a 15 to 30 lens as well. And I've got my hammock set up and my sleeping bag, and I've got a jar of peanut butter. I've got enough servings of mashed potatoes to cover me for 3 days in case something were to happen while I was down in the bottom or on the trail there or back. Since it is a weekday, there's not as many people out here to find me in case I, if I were to break a leg, sprain an ankle, and couldn't make it back up. And then I've got a 1-burner cooker with some propane, and of course some utensils. And I've got an emergency bag, and I've got 3 bottles of water and a water filtration kit as well. I'll use the water filtration kit. In fact, when I cook this evening, I'll probably just take water from the stream or from Linville River and just boil it, because that's the safest thing to do anyway. I've got to boil it for the potatoes anyway. But while I'm making this first pause, I wanted to show you, before I switch back on the trail here, this is the first opening you come to coming down Battle Tower. And down here is pretty much where my path is going to end. Well, that's where I'll reach the bottom. The path will actually carry you back up, and we'll go past Wiseman's View. I don't know if I'm going to try to make that track or not. I may just do this as a down and back rather than a loop. But at the same time, several years ago when I came up here, I was actually hunting, and it was more for a story rather than a hunt. But one of my favorite photos is me standing here with the mountains behind me. Of course, they were all in yellows and oranges and reds. Had my bow in my backpack. It's just gosh, it's a beautiful place. You've got to get out to witness things like this. You can't just sit back and watch my videos or watch other people's videos, or watch National Geographic Channel. Get out and observe this yourself. Prior to coming out here, I got on social media and asked some of my mountain friends if they had if the rhododendrons were blooming out toward Tennessee, and they said they weren't really at peak there yet, but back toward Grandfather Mountain they were, as well as the azaleas. Grandfather Mountain is, I don't know, maybe 10 miles from here. But all along the trail we've got flowers such as this. I've got the pink variety and white. And just, it's gorgeous out here. But while I was doing this hike a little while ago, I started thinking about another landscape photographer, Alan Brock, who shoots large format and lives over in Tennessee. And I mentioned to him a while back he needs to get to the gorge. He's never been, and I still say it, Alan, you need to come to the gorge. Maybe not this summer, possibly in the fall. Plan it around your Zion trip, but you'll find plenty of great shots here, and I know you'll fall in love with it here. And one other thing, beards are overrated, goatees are fine, or even a clean shaven face is fine. Don't let that hang you up. I'm sure Ansel Adams didn't have a beard when he was 12. Not saying that you're 12, just that, you know, without a beard you look like you're 12. Just kidding. Another rocky outcropping. This bug off my hat. It gives you an overlook. And you may be able to hear the river through the GoPro, but don't let that fool you. It's still a long ways down. It's just in this gorge, everything, the sounds are contained, and you can hear things for a long way, and it has a bit of a roar to it. But gosh, it's a magnificent place. See how the steep walls are. Back over here, that's Hawksbill that we looked at last night. Let me lay these down. And then one I took pictures of last night with the clouds behind it, this table rock right over there. Sitting bear somewhere around here in this general area, but just like last night, I can't see it from this side. I can find it pretty easy on the other side of the gorge. This ridge on this side of the gorge is called Jonas Ridge, and then this side is the Linville Mountains, and that's what borders the gorge and the Linville River. We'll probably find some spots where we'll see some fire damage. About every 3 to 7 years, I'm going to take this off while I'm talking to you. About every 3 to 7 years, the gorge pretty much catches fire. It's been recorded that the gorge here receives more lightning strikes than anywhere else in North Carolina, and that's generally where the fires will start. The bordering mountains on each side limits the rain that comes in, which helps dry everything out, especially during the summer and early fall. And then the lightning strike catches the fire, and there's several really great photos of some of the mountains that are where they're just blazing. Kathy Anderson has some great shots, and if I can post them, I'll put them up here. But last year we had my son came hiking down here with some of his friends, and we had a series of wildfires in North Carolina and in eastern Tennessee. And my son was actually down here when one of the fires started, and you don't have great cell service here, so obviously I was a little worried about where he was and how close he was to the fire. The fire was moving quick, but in the process, there were several people that actually started fires as well, so it wasn't all natural last year, unfortunately. But the burning of the trees and the underbrush, it's part of the cycle here that allows this place to thrive. If you were curious as to where this trail got the name Mayville Tower, it has something to do with that rocky outcrop. This whole section is just layered rock. The trail, I'm actually off the trail a little bit right here, but I wanted to get to where you could see the tower a little better. You can see it's a popular place to camp. I made it to the bottom of the gorge. This is the Linville River. Got several waterfalls through this area. Been right many years since I've made it down here, and honestly, the way I felt over the last 6 months, and then just having this procedure done a couple weeks ago, and this is considered the most difficult trail. Even if I couldn't get a picture out of it, just the mere fact of doing it. Whew. Good. I'm gonna set up the hammock. And there's some shots I already know what I want to get from where I've been down here before. But I'm gonna rest for a little bit, and we'll do some more stuff this evening. After a hike down like that, that's why I like a quick setup. And think about the view. What would you do for a view like that to wake up in the morning? You can see I'm all set up. I lay down for about 15 minutes just to get a break. But one of the things I want to mention as far as my packing, I keep my emergency items in an orange stuff sack, so it's easy to find, and that includes my water filtration. And then my food is in a red stuff sack. When I set it up, I put the food in the bottom. There we go. So this is all my stuff that I need for this. Got my food and my utensils in it. Other than my jar of peanut butter. Gotta have peanut butter. So just wanted to show you how I kind of keep everything together where I can get to it somewhat quick. But we're gonna eat real quick. And then I'll start setting up for a few shots. Work my way down here. You can see, I mean, this place is absolutely gorgeous. You haven't even seen it from where I've been at. So this get you down here where you can see things a little better. Look at this place. It's just, it's breathtaking. God, I love being out here.